Welcome back everyone, YuKo Millennia here with the new devlog installment for Project Wanderer, which is a heavy action Souls-like game that attempts to unify the hack and slash genre with the Soulsborne. It's 2024 now and development has been a bit quiet to start the year. I've been busy designing a new system that I finally got working and will be showcasing in this video, but let's recap what we covered in our last devlog. In the last devlog I discussed my plan on how I plan to make this heavy action Souls-like game. I talked about how I plan to balance the heavy action with the difficulty from the two genres. I also went over what systems I'll be focusing on and why I decided to prioritize these systems, and now it's time to put that plan into play. One of the noticeable differences between hack and slash games and Soulsborne games is that Souls games have a stamina system, or something similar to stamina. Stamina in Soulsborne games is a unique stat that prevents the player from chaining multiple actions over and over again without breaks. When performing certain actions, your stamina will drain, and without sufficient stamina, you are left rendered incapable of attacking or defending yourself. Stamina is a super powerful system that can influence the player's decisions immensely. Hack and slash games on the other hand don't have this restriction. Hack and slash games encourage players to take advantage of each system to design absurd combos. For Project Wanderer, I wanted a unique stat system that serves a slightly different purpose than the stamina and can serve as a limiting factor to the player during certain circumstances, but can also be rewarding as well. When designing this system, I needed this unique stat to serve as a limiting factor and a rewarding factor depending on the current situation, while complementing the heavy action mechanics and the Soulsborne mechanics. Sekiro's posture gauge was a defensive limitation, but for Project Wanderer, I would need this gauge to function as an aggressive extension to the player's offensive playstyle. I came across another game called Wulong Fallen Dynasty, and they have this unique stat system they call Spirit Gauge. It balanced offensive and defensive plays based on the player's action, and so I modified this system to fit my game by adjusting condition, stat values, and state conditions. The system is currently in a solid state and working, so let me explain how it works. Here I have the Spirit Gauge from Wulong. Similar to the system in Project Wanderer, there's a positive and negative side. Having nothing on either side is the neutral point. To increase the gauge, you'll either have to deflect attacks and or land attacks onto your enemies. When the gauge is full, your next successful deflection will parry the attack, staggering the enemy. Now, there will be more use cases for this new stat, but they will be introduced and showcased in the future when I get them working. But as of now, that's the only thing you can do with the gauge when it's maxed out. On the other hand, when you take damage or block attacks, your gauge will decrease. However, when taking damage, the gauge will not drop below the neutral point. The only way to decrease the gauge from the neutral point and onto the negative side is by blocking attacks. When the gauge reaches its minimum level, your guard will be broken, leaving you open to attacks. Some of you might say that this system would make the game too easy, but keep in mind that this game is a heavy action game, so when enemies do super fast and long combos, you will be challenged to be able to dodge and or deflect them to stay alive. Depending on your character's current action and or state, the gauge will start to deplete or increase towards the neutral point. This system will be shared amongst all characters, including enemies, so if enemy pairs your attack with a max gauge, then the player will stagger. This will help build fairness within the game. Now, to get this to work, I needed a new stat to start. Adding a new stat was quite easy. I simply added another variable that will store my new stat and its value. This variable is located in a component that handles all my stats. When the player receives an attack, it will do calculations to determine if we increase or decrease the stat. However, getting the stat to automatically decrease or increase depending on the character's state and or action was very complicated. I needed a way for my character to get notified every time they enter a new state, so I set up a system to notify the player when his state changes. Then I do conditional checks to determine if we start or stop the gauge from moving. Now, depending on the stat's current buildup, you can do certain things, and these are also done through conditional checks. Now, this system is not the only thing I've been working on for the last 2 months. I've been working on improving various existing mechanics and been working on some new enemy types. I'm hoping to keep as much concealed as possible to give all of you who are interested in playing the game a better raw experience. If you'd like more updates on the game or some more updates on existing systems that I've been working on, then join my Discord server and follow me on Twitter. I'll be posting and uploading different updates on each platform, so join me there and you can get access to the latest info. Since this is my first video in 2024, let's talk a bit about my goals for this year. Project Wanderer will reach its first year of development in May, and my goal is to have a complete combat demo that I can release to the public around the same time Project Wander reaches the first year of development. This is an extremely unrealistic goal, but it's a goal that I'm hoping to reach. Giving myself a very tough goal will push me to work on my project more and push myself to give my best work so I don't have to keep going back and change things. I will keep you guys posted about updates on that once we get closer to that point. This marks the end of this devlog video. I want to thank all of you for tuning into these devlogs. As time goes on, it seems I gain more and more attraction to these videos, which is awesome, but that's all thanks to you guys, so thank you. I want to also thank my awesome Patreon members for supporting me. Your support means a lot and it helps a lot, and I really appreciate it. If you want to support Project Wander, you can join me on Patreon, where you get exclusive access to prototype builds, monthly updates, early access, shop discounts, and downloadable project files. Well, that'll be it for this devlog video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.